Hello and welcome back to the Hoarder Crafting Podcast. My name is Sasha and I'm coming to you today from a sunny town just outside of Birmingham in the West Midlands here in the UK. And I'm going to start by apologising for my voice. I'm recovering from a slight cold. Quite slight cold. The issue is it decided to take my voice out. So if I sound a bit nasally, a bit wheezy, if my voice keeps going, I do apologise. I will do my best to edit out any coughing, spluttering, clearing of the throat and stuff. I do have a drink here with me, so there might be a lot of jumping as I take a drink. I'm drinking Dr. Pepper because if I have to drink one more pint of squash, I'm going to lose my shit. Because I've drunk nothing but squash and tea for the last 3 days to the point of wanting to chuck something. I come from a generation where you're just perpetually dehydrated, so I drink a lot of squash to try and ward that off. However, every once in a while I need my Dr. Pepper. Yes, it is the zero sugar, because if I drink sugar I'm not going to sleep tonight, because that's just the way things are. So, anyway, it has been 2 weeks since my last regular podcast episode. Last week was my Wonderwall special, which was 2 hours long. I'm sorry. But I have a fair amount of progress. However, I was away last week in Dublin. Didn't get any footage of that. It was kind of more of we did a lot of museums and adult beverage themed excursions. So I can't really say it because I don't think YouTube's going to be too happy, but the vase holding the Lego roses is from one of the excursions that we did. So, yeah. Dublin, Ireland. We went there. I'm going to talk about this first since I'm already on the subject. We weren't originally going to Ireland. We'd already got our 2 holidays for this year, and then we missed tickets for a band in Birmingham. We live near Birmingham, you know, it's like a 40-minute drive on a good day. So we missed the tickets there. And then they still had tickets left in Dublin and Nottingham. Both me and my partner went sod driving around Nottingham. My partner has family up there, so we drive up there quite a lot. It is the worst place we've ever had to drive around. We're both drivers, we both hate it. We decided, bugger it, we're going to go to Dublin. And we made a week of it. We flew out on the Monday, we flew back Friday night. We were supposed to have flown back Friday night, it ended up being early Saturday morning. That's Ryanair for you. But we did the gig on the Thursday nights. The gig we went to see was a band called Creeper. It's not going to be the type of band for everybody. It's a metal, rock, goth band. So, look them up if you want. It's probably not going to be for most people. If you like bands like Ghost, MCR, Megadeth, stuff like that, you might like them. I've got a bit of sort of Sisters of Mercy in there if you ask me, but yeah. But while we were there, we did the Guinness experience, the big storehouse. We did a couple of other excursions. I'm going to say it and hope YouTube doesn't hate it, but we did the Teeling Distillery and the Irish Whiskey Museum. We also had a wander around one of the old cathedrals, like really old cathedrals. We did the Dubliner experience, which is Viking and medieval history in Ireland. And we also walked around a big ass park, did a couple of bus tours, sort of. We were very busy, but yeah. So no footage of that, just a fun holiday, bonus holiday for us. I know not everybody is in the position where they can afford to go on these holidays, especially with the way the world is at the moment. But hopefully that settles down soon. I'm now going to take another sip. So, all that rambling aside, I have 5 whips to talk about. I have no finished objects. I have a book that I'm currently reading. I know, I've pulled a book out, what's wrong with me? And I also have a announcement. I don't really think it could be called that, but I'll get to that at the end. Where shall I start? Where shall I start? We'll start with this one. So, this is a bag by That's So Becky, and it's holding one of my oldest projects, and I don't think I moved that marker. Oh dear. So these are my Pioneer gloves, which is a pattern by Kelly McClure. It'll be on screen somewhere. But these are fingerless mitts. They are supposed to be like, in my opinion, they're more like wrist warmers with a bit of extra. I've modified the pattern slightly in the fact I have made them ridiculously long. These go all the way to my elbow. Please excuse my messy work sweatshirt. I haven't got round to having my second shower of the day yet, so I haven't taken this off, but it's basically clean. I've not dropped anything over it, it's just work. I'm going to put this on. This is on the wrong hand. So one of the things about these is there's a definite left and right hand, because the increases is supposed to go over the palm. Which I could have put this on the correct hand because I've not currently got my watch on because it's on charge. Anyway. I'm pretty sure this is a free pattern on Ravelry. If I'm wrong, it'll be on screen right now. But I am pretty sure that I forgot to move the marker, because I think that was the marker from last time, and I think I was much closer to doing this bit. Have I actually shown these before when I've got to this point? Because I have a vague recollection of putting them on. I don't know. Maybe my brain's gone a bit frazzled. If I kept detailed notes, I know, but yeah, me and keeping detailed notes doesn't always go down well. I'm already 10 minutes in and I am waffling about the first project that I may have already shown you. It's going well. So, I am using Attic Spin Die. Yep, Attic Spin Die. This is an older one because this is their old label. I think... Yes, I have one of their new labels. This is their old label. I've had this for quite a while. I've just pulled that out and now I've got to put this back in. Whoa. We'll get on to the reorganising at the end. So this is Rocker Bunny Fabulous. It is this amazing black and pink, very much my colours. I'm looking forward to like the autumn, if I have these finished, when I can like chuck these on with my patchwork black denim jacket. We occasionally go out clubbing, and we go to a metal and alternative rock bar down in Brum. I think these are going to work really well with that jacket, or maybe with a leather jacket, because at the beginning of the night it can be very cold, because I dress for how I'm going to be halfway through the night, not what it's like when I leave the house. I am waffling so much right now. So yeah, I've basically only had like 2 people to talk to for the last like 2 weeks, so sorry. The thumb stitches are on hold, so I will probably pick up the thumb at some point. The only reason why I haven't picked up the thumb yet is because I need the DPNs to do it, and the DPNs have either been in use on the heel of a sock or have not been here. So I haven't cast the second one on yet because I want to do the thumb, but anyway, that's project 1, which you may have already seen before. Project 2. Yeah, my voice. I apologise for my voice. If it wasn't for the fact that I don't know when I'm next going to get a chance to record a video, I'd have left it, but I don't know. My next one. This is a project bag I made myself. I don't sell them or anything. I just make them because I needed project bags, and the quickest and easiest way to get project bags was to whip some up on my sewing machine. Now, this is my May socks. And I'm trying to find the things. Right. So, the contrasting mini is from Mothy and the Squid. It doesn't have a name. I got this for free with a purchase at Wonderwall last year. So that is the contrast. The main colour is from The Lonely Knitter, and this is Happy Ever After. Not happily ever after, happy ever after. And it is this pink with splotches of blue and green, blue and purple, with a little bit of white showing through in places. And I am tangled one set of decreases away from kitchening the toe of the first sock. I don't know why I stopped at that point. Actually, no, I know why I stopped at that point. The doorbell rang. Doorbell rang, parcel. I decided to go out for a walk. So, that is my progress on the first sock. I think I had like 2 rounds the last time you saw this. I took this to Dublin with me, and I got halfway through the heel flap. If anyone's ever been on a Ryanair flight, you'll be aware that there is not enough space to knit on the flights because you're kind of crammed in like that. This only got worked on in the hotel because I didn't have a handbag big enough with me to put a project in. So this only got worked on in the hotel. And yeah, so, but almost finished the first sock. These are technically my May socks, but yeah, I did technically start them in April. I'm aware of that. My goal with knitting socks this year is not to start them on the 1st of the month. It's to have 12 pairs of socks finished at the end of the year. You know, if I finish 2 pairs in a month, but 0 in another month, it doesn't matter, so long as I have 12 pairs at the end of the month. So, they are just a vanilla sock, shorties, but not like short, they're like midi. They are 20 rounds of 2x2 rib, 45 reins on the leg, and that's basically it for those at the moment. They're not exciting, they're just a sock, which I could do with more socks, because I may have accidentally put a pair in the washing machine and felted them. Completely by accident. Got back off holiday. When you get back off holiday, you've got washing to do, obviously. And I accidentally chucked a load in with a pair of hand knit socks and felted them. So, yeah. Could do with more socks. I'm also going through, I haven't bought socks, like, I haven't bought, like, commercial socks probably for the last, like, 2 or 3 years, except for, like, some really thin cotton socks for the summer. So I'm starting to run out of, like, winter socks. Thankfully, we're coming into the summer, but, definitely need more socks. And now, on the subject of socks, another pair of socks. This is not a pair for me. So this is in my West Knits little canvas bag. Keep on knitting, kitten. Knitting, kitten. Yeah. I can't say that one. I haven't got a bad throat, but this has got a bad throat. So, and in my West Knits bag, I have yarn bought from the Stephen and Penelope shop, and these are yarns by Dark Omen, which is an Italian-based company, I believe. I did look it up, I keep forgetting. It'll be on screen. So, and I have the colours Rejuvenate, which is a 20-gram mini, and the main colour is Scuba Dive, which is covered in cat hair. As some of you may know, I don't actually have a cat. I have a neighbour's cat that comes in. We occasionally look after her. And somehow she's always got her hair on everything. Not helped by the fact she's a white and black cat. Mostly white, spots of black. And she gets her fur gets everywhere. So, apologies. So these are socks from my partner. He picked these colourways out. And this is how far I've got. This was the project I took with me to Wonderwool. People may have spotted me knitting this. If you were there and you happened to see me when I was sat down, you may have seen me working on these. But, yep. So, these are knit on a 2.75. The socks from me are on a 2.5. My partner's is on a 2.75. With 72 stitches compared to the 64 that I need. If I attempted to knit his socks on a 2.5, I think I would need about 80 stitches. And, no. Nope. Not happening. Feel free to laugh at the squeakiness of my voice. It's fine. I've been doing it all the time. So, that is where I was the last time you saw these. I did have a different stitch marker in here, but when we got back from Wonderwool, I swapped it for one of the little duckies I bought. One moment. Sorry, I thought I'd let the ambulance go past. So 20 rounds of 2x2 rib, and then I think I'm about 54 rounds into the leg, and I need 80 rounds, because not only does my partner have big, long, wide feet, he also likes a nice high leg. This is why one 100-gram skein is cutting it close. Have to have the 20-gram mini. So the cuff is in the mini, and then I think he wants the heel in the mini, but the toe in the main. I'll have to double check with him. But he's already loving these. They are kind of micro striping and pooling at different points, which he loves. So these aren't for me, they're for him. I don't have to like them, I just have to knit them. And cat hair again. So, yeah. Thing with me, I'm not necessarily a process or product knitter. I do like knitting to gift to people, which is one of my downfalls because I have a tendency of knitting a lot of things for other people and not enough for me. This year is kind of changing that. I'm doing a lot of knits for me. However, I do like to have a pair of socks for my partner on the go frequently, because he likes them, and I would like to build his wardrobe of hand knit socks, his drawer of hand knit socks, because he loves them.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
And that's the Amazon spy device thinking I've said her name again. So yeah, I'm trying to build his wardrobe drawer of hand knit socks. So there's that. And on the subject of having a nasty habit of knitting stuff that's not for me, let's talk about the other object that's not for me. So this is a project I am making for a charity by me, or near-ish to me. It's a women and children's charity, helps people escape DV, and at the end of the year they tend to have a collection of like winter clothing drive as well as other stuff. It's a shelter, and I have decided to make it's going to be a set, I believe. At the very least, it's going to be a scarf and a hat. There might be mitts to go along with it. I haven't yet decided. But this is the scarf. And I am making this using Tunisian crochet. This is the honeycomb stitch. And I'm using Hobby Essentials Aran. I don't know where this yarn came from. I can't link it. I don't know what shop it's come from. It was a gift from a friend. It's 100% acrylic. Due to my own sensitivities and feeling and stuff, I don't really wear acrylic. So I am going to make this as a gift. I don't think they're going to mind when I tell them what it's for. Like, I think she'll be just happy that I have used the yarn, I've enjoyed using it, and it's going to a good cause. So this is on a 6mm Tunisian hook, and it is the honeycomb stitch, which is really, really simple to do. It is just Tunisian simple stitch and Tunisian purl stitch alternated on each row. So if you simple stitched on the row below, then you purl stitch on your working row. I shall link a tutorial in the description below. It's really, really simple, but it gives enough interest that I can just keep going, given it's only one colour. Yeah, I really enjoy Tunisian crochet. I just never know what to make with it. I never know what to do with it. I've got a nasty habit of just resorting to making home items with it, and yeah, so yeah. I will say I am a better Tunisian crocheter than I am a regular crocheter. My gauge for this is consistent, it's even. I don't even have to think about it, it's great. My crochet gauge, not so much as my blanket squares can attest. So, but I was going to count the stitches so that I could tell you how many stitches I cast on. It's either 30 or 34. The honeycomb stitch is done over an even number, so yeah. So that's that. This is 1 and maybe 1/4 balls so far. So it's already a decent length. It's obviously not quite scarf length yet, but I think I can get a child's scarf out of 3 balls. I have 6. So I will make a hat to go with it and then see how much yarn I've got left after that and potentially make a pair of mitts. And yeah, so that's that. The colour for this is just, it's called a lilac. So I'm now just gonna carefully roll this back up into its little burrito and pop it back in my handmade scrap basket from last year. I need to remember to put a marker on this, but I think it's grown quite a bit since you last saw it, I think. And then my final project, which I'm just going to take a drink before I talk about that, one moment. So, my last project, and this has probably seen a decent amount of progress. Realistically, the most amount of progress. So this is my In Between Dreams cardigan by My Jew Knits. And I am using, and this is a fresh skein because I need to add new skein. Once again, that's coming out a lot bluer than it actually is. So this is Rowan Valley Tweed in the colour Janet's Fuss. I am 99.99% sure this is a discontinued yarn. I can't find it anywhere. Well, I can find it, but it's usually got like one colour left in stock. All the rest are just out of stock. Even the Rowan website only has like one colour of this in stock. So, but I can't find any information on it. For all I know, this has been discontinued for years, and it's literally just like nobody wants that one colour. But I bought this from the Christmas craft show in 2023 as a pack. I started knitting it in January of 2026. No wonder. So, yeah. No, it was the Christmas craft show 2022. Yeah, it's 2022, sorry, 2022, because I didn't go in 2023. So, I'll get it right one day. I'll remember my years one day. Probably when I'm old and decrepit and, yeah. But, so, I only got 10 skeins of this, or 10 hanks. They're only 50 gram hanks, so, but it is fingering weight, so hopefully I can get a full length cardigan out of this. But I have finished the lace yoke, and I have split the sleeves. It is on quite a, well, it's not a short cable, but any longer and it would annoy me. So I have managed about 2 inches on the underarm, maybe a tad more. Yeah, so I finished the lace yoke. I think I only had 4 rows of the lace yoke left when I went to Wonderwool. Pretty sure I finished it and then started just knitting it till it was long enough to split. But I have now split the sleeves, and this so far is 2 hanks. So 100 grams of the 500 grams I've got. I am a relatively tall person. I am just shy of 6 foot. I'm like 5'11" or 3/4, like, you know. So I'm quite tall. However, I am disproportionately more torso than leg. So I do have to knit my stuff quite long just to look like a normal length. Like, if I want something cropped, I knit to the normal length it states in the pattern, and I'm good to go. So I have to add length to basically everything I knit. So, because I'm also quite long in the torso, I also have quite long arms. Okay, my partner is taller than me by about 2 inches, but I've got longer arms. So I'm going to add another ball to the body. I'm going to knit it down, use up the 3rd skein on the body. Then I'm going to do the sleeves, because I would rather this be a cardigan that's a little bit cropped in the body than have a cardigan that's long enough in the body but only has 3/4 sleeves. I prefer to just pull sleeves up if I need it to, and then pull them down when I'm done. I would rather that. So, yeah. One more ball on the body, which, if my calculations are correct, take those calculations with a pinch of salt because my maths is atrocious, I should get another 4.5 to 5 inches onto the body from that skein. Okay, I need to knit this to 15 inches from the underarm for it to be the length I want. And we all like to say sleeves don't take that much yarn. I don't know what world we're all living in. We're all clearly delusional. Sleeves take a lot of yarn. I will probably taper it a little bit, just to give it some shape. But long arm. It's probably gonna take 2 hanks each sleeve, which that's 100 grams each sleeve. You know, that's 200 grams out of my 400 remaining grams. So we'll see how that goes. I do plan on using, if possible, every last gram of yarn. Because I have no idea what I would do with the leftovers from this. So that is the progress on that, and I'm very happy with it. I'm enjoying it. It is now just back and forth knitting, which is fine with me. I have no issue with that. So it's back and forth for the body. The sleeves will be in the round. And so it's kind of become simple knitting, which is good. I don't like to keep harping on about this, but I am scheduled to have surgery soon. I don't know how long I'm going to be out of action for. The last time I had surgery, it was quite a few days. So I want to make sure I've got plenty of simple, easy knitting and a variety of simple knitting. So next week, you might see a couple of cast-ons. Just me setting up simple knitting in a couple of fun, bright, cheerful colours, because I have been informed by my other half that after my surgery, I will be taking some time off. I will be coddled and cared for and looked after and forced to sit down and rest and recover. He's still going to encourage me to get up and move around once I'm able to, you know, take me out for walks, get me some fresh air when I am ready for that. I am not the person that takes sitting down not doing anything quite well. The last time I was seriously ill with flu and not able to do anything, my partner came upstairs to find me cleaning the toilet because it was something I could do, sat on the edge of the bath with the brush, just going, well, I'm doing something. That's the person I am. I don't take not being active very well. Don't get me wrong, in the evenings, I'll happily sit in front of the telly and vegetate for 3 hours. I'm not the person that's going to sit there for 3 or 4 days, having my food brought to me, not being allowed to lift a kettle. Anybody who drinks a lot of tea and stuff is probably not going to be too happy when they're told you're not allowed to lift a kettle. So, yeah. There will probably be cast-ons next week of simple knitting. I also need to go through all of my whips at some point, so there might be a bonus episode at some point of me pulling out all of the whips just to see what I've got. Because I'm sure with everybody, they cast some things on, the bag gets pushed to the back of a shelf or back of a drawer and we forget about it. I'm sure that's the case with me. So I want to pull everything out, have a good look, see what I've got, then maybe do a couple of cast-ons to get some basic, simple, easy knitting on the go. And now, that little announcement. As some of you might be able to notice, I've reorganised my yarn stash to put away my Wonderwool haul. And in doing so, pulled out some skeins that had been disappeared to the back. That's a lot of yarn. And there's more here as well. Like, this goes back. There's this goes back. There's stuff pushed at the back of here. And now I'm dropping everything. Oh, that's useful. So, there's a slight bit of I don't regret any of my purchases, I will say that. I'm quite happy with all of this yarn. However, there's a lot of it here currently, and I need to use some of it. I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable with how much I have. So, not helped by the fact that I'm going to have to buy more yarn soon. A friend has announced that she's having her second baby. So I made stuff for the first baby, and for the second one I have volunteered, because I opened my big job, to make matching jumpers for the newborn and her current oldest child. This baby is due in July. It's going to be a summer baby. So I have said I would make jumpers for I'm going to make the 6 to 9 month size for the baby. she's happy with that. And means I can make one for the other child that's going to fit. She'll be 5. 5 in November. So, obviously, I don't have yarn for that in my stash. I'm going to have to buy that. Another friend, their sibling has announced that they're finally pregnant. They've been trying for the better part of 20 years. We both suffer from endometriosis, me and the female part of that relationship. I know the pain and suffering she's gone through. I can relate to it. And I understand the suffering she's going through because she wants a family. They've announced they're finally pregnant. And all of our thoughts are with them that this one makes it. She has suffered a few losses. The fact they have announced it gives me hope because it's now past 12 weeks and I know the first 12 weeks can be the hardest time. But because of that, I'm going to be making that person, that family, a heirloom style baby blanket. Something special for them. Because that's the kind of person I am. I like knitting for other people and I personally don't want kids. It's because of the way my head works, I wouldn't be a good mother. So I don't want kids. Like, I don't want to put a child through that. Like, I neglect my own health at times, like my own health and well-being. I don't want to do that to a child. I'm not going to have a child. But I know that there are other people who do want kids. They want families. That's fine. I support you and I support that choice. I am so happy for my friends and my family and extended family, extended friends groups when they announce that they're pregnant. I'm the kind of person that will go out there and go, right, what can I make them? You know, because why knit for me? So, obviously, newborn baby. I'm not going to give them 100% wool in wacky colours. This is a baby, okay? The gift of hand washing will not go down well with a newborn baby. So, I'm going to be buying machine washable, probably an acrylic cotton blend for the blanket. So, it's a wool warehouse, and I may or may not have accidentally put a 7 skein shawl project in the basket along with the rest of it for myself. I mean, I didn't need the extra yarn to get free shipping. I haven't actually bought it yet, but it's sat in there because I'm waiting for one colour to come back in stock for the jumpers. Didn't need it. Is it in the basket waiting for me? Ooh, whoops. So, yeah. Sasha, where's the announcement in that? So, in order to use this, I need to cast it on, obviously. However, whips kind of need finishing first. Because it's all well and good taking it off the shelf, winding it up, putting it in a project bag with a couple of rows done on it. That's not getting it out of stash permanently. That's not turning this beautiful skein of yarn into something I could put on my body. Okay, like I could clip it to me, sure, but that's not out of stash. So, on the 1st of June to the end of August, and my head just blanked on the date it's going to end. So from the 1st of June to the end of August, I'm going to be running a finish along. Not a make along, a finish along. So it's technically a make along, yes. I'm calling it the finish along. And it's basically going to be a 3-month long make along focused on finishing items. So there's only going to be like 3 rules for this make along. All projects that you work, even if you don't finish them, you can like, I'm going to open a chat in Ravelry once I work out how to do that, which is why it's not starting until 1st of June. Open up a thread, group chat thread, where we can all talk stuff. Basically, any project that gets worked on has to have been started before the last day of May. You can start it on the last day of May. It basically has to be started before midnight on the 1st of June. And there will be a prize at the end of this make-along, finish-along. It will be a pattern prize. In order to keep it inclusive of everybody across the world, it's going to be a pattern prize because that's just easier. And yeah, basically, if you finish a project, you get entered into the draw. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to keep track of this yet. I don't know if I'm going to have 2 threads of chatter thread and then finished thread. There might be multiple prizes. Like if there's a lot of finished objects, I might have different categories. But basically, yeah, has to have been started before the last day of May. To be eligible for a prize, you have to finish a project. And the last rule is everybody needs to be nice to each other. And the fact I have to say this, but yeah, one of the rules is literally just going to be you have to be nice to each other in the chat. Like, I haven't seen tons of people being, you know, rude, impolite, cruel to people, but I have seen it once or twice. So 3 simple rules. Has to have been started before the last day of May. You have to finish something to be eligible for a prize, and you need to be kind, courteous and polite to each other. Quite simple, I hope. Yeah, it's just going to be a fun finish along. You know, you come along with your whips to finish stuff. I'm hoping it'll be an incentive to help me finish some of my projects. And knitting-wise, make-along-wise, all that good stuff, that's it. That's all for this week. I do have a book I want to share with you that I've been reading. I know. And it is this book. This is The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Steve Brusatte. Brusatte? I am really bad with names. If I heard it pronounced once, I'd remember it. I've not heard it pronounced, so, but I'm only about 60 pages in. This is what I was reading on the flight. Much to the annoyance of the person sat next to me going out, I got nothing but disapproving looks for the book I was reading. Don't know why. But, yeah, this is what I was reading. I'm enjoying it. It's not exactly a deep dive. It's nowhere near thick enough to be a deep dive, but it is a general look at the 150 million years reign of the dinosaurs. From their beginnings after the end Permian extinction, all the way up until 66 million years ago when a crater came along and eradicated all of the non-avian dinosaurs. So, I'm enjoying this. I'm loving it. I don't know if it's obvious, I've been going through a dinosaur phase recently, and that hasn't stopped. So, this is what I'm currently reading. Highly recommend it. I am a physical media reader when it comes to books. I know that there are people out there going, oh, it's bad for the environment, you should use a Kindle or listen to it on Audible or whatever. I've tried audiobooks, not for me. I've tried a Kindle, not for me. Really useful when you're limited on space. Like, I do own a Kindle. I only ever use it if I'm going on like long journeys or I'm very, very limited on space in travel suitcases. I prefer the physical media. I prefer an actual book. I love the smell of the books. I love the feel of it, and it's easier for me. So preference, physical media person. I also do not like breaking the spines of my books. Like a lot of my books, if I've brought them new, do not have a cracked spine. Unless my mother's got hold of them. Because my mother is awful for cracking the spines on her books. And she does it to mine. And it hurts to see them with a cracked spine. Oh yes, I was gonna, one last thing actually, one last yarn thing. If you watched my Wonderwall vlog, which if you didn't, because it's 2 hours long, I don't blame you, I talked about potentially buying a yarn advent calendar or countdown calendar. First one ever. And I can confirm I did take the plunge. I have indeed bought the Downton Abbey themed advent calendar by the Crafty Bird. Can you see why we need the finish along? Because if I finish projects, I can cast projects on. And if I cast projects on, I can then finish projects and make space in my stash for all of the yarn that's coming in, because I just received notification that my yarn club for May has shipped. I have to buy next month's yarn club next month, and then, next week. And I've also got yarn coming in from Chromatic Yarns, and we need to finish some things. There's not enough space. There's like, I can only just get my hand in the top here. So, and I was going to keep this relatively short because I wasn't sure my voice was going to last, and that timer says I've been going for 55 minutes. I don't think this video is going to be 55 minutes because I'm pretty sure there's at least 5 minutes of me coughing, spluttering and clearing my throat that needs cutting out, as well as an ambulance and me drinking. But it is going to be another long one. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any ideas of things to add for this finish along, please let me know in the description, in the comments below. I don't do this very often, like I don't do this in every video, but if you want to see more of me rambling away, I promise my voice isn't this bad usually, maybe hit that subscribe button, because there's always long rambly videos from me these days. And if you liked my rambling, please like. I don't say this every week. I think I remember to do this once every like 3 months. Yeah. So I also forgot to say what episode number this is, and I actually can't remember now. I think this is episode 55. Maybe 56. It would have been at the beginning of this video. Anyway, I hope you all guys have a lovely weekend. I hope you got plenty of progress on your project done, and I hope to see you next week. Bye guys.